Hi, and welcome back to PÖFF TV. I'm Mia, and we're right in the heart of the Black Nights Film Festival. Today, I have an amazing guest joining me, the director behind the film I, the Song. Let's give a big warm welcome to Dechen Roder. Hi.
Hello, thank you.
How are you doing?
Good.
So, what inspired you to create this film?
There was a few things that brought it on, I think, and it was a few quite different things that came together. So the first one was that there was a small community in Bhutan, which is where I'm from, which is where the film is from, and they were a very remote rural community, but there was a small newspaper article about them complaining that a song of theirs had been stolen. So it was an old sacred song, which they felt it only needed to be sung or performed in the context of a specific ceremony, and they felt it was stolen and used out of context by people in our city. So that was the first the first element that I was inspired to make a film because it's such a weird thing to try to bring a song back. I mean, it's not like we have a culture of bringing songs back in Bhutan also. It's like absurd everywhere, I think. But also sad because we can't stop this kind of thing and with the modern age, And at the same time, I had another story idea of making a film about sort of this abuse that comes with of digital, recording of experiences, recording of intimate moments, which is done without often the knowledge of the person being recorded. And this again was inspired by sort of true experiences of some of my friends who had this experience of having a video of them released when they were in an intimate moment and not knowing that it was being recorded. And because Bhutan's very small, smaller than Estonian population, so we have about 700,000 people. And so when a video like this comes out, it's very hard for the victim to deal with it because everyone sees it, everyone knows it, and then they all sort of hold it against, it's usually a woman, hold it against her for somehow being in the video. So I sort of found this sort of connection between the two stories of like a stolen song and a stolen experience in a way of identity. So those were the two elements that I sort of tried to join together to make this film, the Song.
So, given you have a little bit of a personal connection to this story, was it difficult to bring it to the screen?
I think it was not so difficult in the sense it was the experience of my two friends in different ways, and it's very loosely based on their experiences, and I did feel I needed their blessing in a way. Because in a way, again, I'm taking a story of theirs. So both of them agreed that, okay, this is something you can do, and they felt also it needed to be done. So that part was not so difficult for me, and I think for anyone, it would be for them to agree to share it. But for them, it was important also, and then, of course, since it's not like it's not their biographies. It's just sort of the element, the similar element running through, which I borrowed from them.
So, this movie features several different locations.
Yes.
Was it how difficult was it to find them?
That part was a little difficult because I wanted to show. I needed an urban area in Bhutan. But not like our capital city, which is where I live, and some of the bigger cities. So it was choosing an urban area which was not fully modern, but somehow on this like threshold of change, So that was choosing that was quite Actually, that was also easy because I knew from the beginning that that's the town I want. But finding, because this film also, we don't only stay there, we go to some remote rural areas to sort of resonate with the story of the secret song. That part was a little difficult, but not in not in like a difficult way. In the sense, I enjoy traveling around Bhutan. I enjoy road trips, bad roads. Everything is fine for me. So that part also was an enjoyable process. I liked that. Yeah.
So does the music of the film also carry a significant connection, or?
Yes, I mean there's music throughout the film, and I wanted to really keep that in because in Bhutan, especially, I find we're a very musical country. We're always listening to music. Bhutanese are very talented in music and the voice, singing and playing music. You know, we don't have music schools, but everyone's like self-learned. And then we have also the traditional music background with traditional instruments, traditional songs, which and Bhutan, I feel that way. It's very rich in music because it's often the modern music, the pop music, still has some connection to some of our older folk songs. So it's all like a beautiful fusion, and it's all over. And I really wanted to sort of represent that in the film also, that living in Bhutan, being in Bhutan, there's music all over. And it's always in the air, and somehow it's also like, I find music very poetic, you know, because it just goes through you. It's like the one thing that you can't avoid, in a sense. You know, like I read somewhere a very nice thing that, you know, you can choose not to read a book, you can choose not to watch a movie, but music, it's there. It's like part of your existence. You can't choose to like cover your ears. So it's always in our consciousness in a way. It's always in our life. So that was very important. And what was important also is to have like this overwhelming thing of music. So one of the characters is also a musician. So he has, of course, he's performed sometimes. Then we always hear music in the background, like in anywhere, restaurants, most of the locations. But it was important to play with all that contrast, and then the issue of the song itself, sort of this contrast of, do we ever hear that particular song or not throughout the film, even though we're hearing music throughout. I don't want to reveal it, but like, do we hear that song actually that's in question?
So what challenges did this film present to you?
Again, it was actually, shooting was very fun. We didn't have many challenges. I think we had like the best, sort of the aligned, everyone was aligned on the set. The talent was really good, and the crew was really good. And because we had sort of tried to work out things quite far in advance, I think that also really helped with a smoother thing. Of course, it took long to shoot because we were changing locations, and one of the challenges shooting was that the same actress plays two characters. You know, because it's also like a doppelgänger film, which I didn't say. So she has to play completely two different characters. So that, I think, was the biggest challenge, just in the very practical sense of sometimes continuity. You know, because we couldn't, ideally it would have been nice to shoot like one character's thing, her whole, for the whole segment, and then the next character's thing, like change her appearance and all, but we couldn't afford to, you know, take that long. So we had to kind of shoot at the same time. So that time, that was a little difficult. I mean, just keeping the continuity of changing her appearance, and then sometimes we forgot, like we hadn't shot something and we cut the hair, and we were freaking out, like we had to add some extensions. So that was there, but apart from that, shooting was quite, I would say it's a really nice experience. It was more the that part of the character appearance, and then before shooting, sort of the financing stage, the development stage was more challenging because it took quite a few years to raise the finances for the film. Yeah.
So what is the message that you want the audience to take away from this?
I think I don't want it to be like a very direct, like this is how it's supposed to be. I think, again, going back to the sense of like just, I like to think of this film more as like a reflection or a pondering of like what can we do at this point about this kind of theft, about this kind of stealing of songs, and this, how do we sort of hold on to who we are? So that's more the abstract, ambiguous part of the film. But of course, using the story of this recording of videos, and that is more of a direct message that I hope, to show that how destructive it is, how damaging it is to the victims. And I don't know how it is so much outside, but in Bhutan, sometimes I feel it's not taken that seriously. Like they don't see it as such a crime, this exploitation law. So I hope that it sort of illuminates that, that how it is very bad, and how the ones who are taking the video should be held accountable, or should be, in a way, recognized as criminals almost, and how they're hurting others by doing this.
Thank you so much for sharing this important message and telling this story that needs to be really told. And thank you so much for coming here and sharing some insight into your film.
Yeah. Thank you.
And thank you for tuning into PÖFF TV, and we'll see you next time. Bye.